Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and Babene is the, serious striker. So let's see how this unfolds.
Doerksen, of course, a very extensive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu resume, but also having a professional boxing bout back in 2003, a victory nonetheless.
Well, Joe's developed into an incredibly well-rounded fighter. I mean, if you've got to face Joe, of course you're worried about going to the ground with him, but he's worked on everything. He's a great striker, a great wrestler, got great heart, great condition. He takes it very, very seriously, so you're not really safe anywhere. But Babene is a big, powerful striker. And any one of these shots, out of this level of kickboxer, is going to be dangerous. Joe's firing back, though. They're both circling like very experienced guys.
Babene looking very, very strong on his feet, as any product of Cyril Diabate is going to look in the ring.
Yeah, and, he's relaxed but ready to explode. Joe. Yeah, you're not going to catch him with that.
Oh, and a beautiful follow-up.
Wow.
2 solid left kicks. And Babene.
Powerful wrestling. That's even more of a surprise.
And Babene working here with a flurry onto Doerksen.
I mean, Joe's been in this situation for now. He's got his head buried nicely. He knows what to do here to try to stay safe, but Babene is right back up. And now you got to go to where you just got hurt. Babene is looking good.
Babene's got to feel great after that exchange on the ground right there with someone the caliber of Doerksen.
A nice sprawl by Babene. And reverses it. This is a surprise. I mean, Babene's been getting the advantage standing up, but so far he's been up to the wrestling of Joe.
Babene's going to keep it standing where he can, but I don't think he has any hesitancy if it has to go to the ground.
Joe's face is already showing the effects of this. Finally, Joe gets a takedown. Let's see what Babene can do here.
Single leg there by Doerksen.
Babene is looking to stand up immediately, which, of course, plays right into his strengths. Man, every one of those shots hit hard. Joe's face is already feeling those effects. The thing is, it's not just that he's winning the fight. It's not when he lands those strikes. It's not just that, he's doing what he wants to do. But every one of these strikes will affect Joe's ability to execute his jiu-jitsu. Every one of these strikes will affect Joe's ability to, go into the later rounds. And a good striker has the ability to even up the wrestling and jiu-jitsu game just by rocking the head of the other guy.
As we mentioned before, Doerksen getting this new opponent in Gregory Babene only on 10 days' notice, and for someone with a 6-4 record, I mean, not a lot of tape you can really study on Babene in such short time.
No, with his extensive kickboxing that he's a lot more than his record shows. Joe is now doing what he wants to do. He's slowed it down. He's made some good decisions, striking the knee, working him to the mat. He's slowed this round down a little bit. So, it'll give him a little time to recover from those huge shots that he took and, maybe start to work his game a little from the top here. But Ben is going to be thinking about getting up.
Doerksen here in side control.
Yeah, he's at home here. Now he's trying to change, moving to a north-south.
And transitions over to side control on the other side now. And
trying to step over the head there. This is where Joe should have the advantage. But there's going to be, possibly a power advantage and a freshness advantage that Babene may have here. And he may be able to even just explode out of this, even with less technique and less experience than Joe.
And how much energy is this taking out of Babene, having all that weight on top of him right now?
Well, it depends how experienced he is. If he's experienced, he knows that he's not necessarily in any danger here, so he's got to try to conserve his energy and wait till he's in danger, wait to find the moment to move. If he's resisting all the way through this, then he's expending a lot of energy. That's a very nice move to get back to a guard. Joe immediately tries to pass, stays low, and gets to half guard. This is bread and butter Joe, slowing things down, waking up from those big, heavy shots that he took and trying to stay in control here.
Joe Doerksen, a record of 41-12. Among those wins, some huge names on this list. Patrick the Predator Cote, John Alessio, Dennis Kang, Chris Lieben. Joe Doerksen has fought a who's who at 185. There's
the strength of Babene.
Wow.
Right there. It was a smart technique. He waited till the moment to explode, but really, it was his athleticism. And I think maybe Joe is going to be surprised by some of this. And Joe looks for an up-and-over sweep, and Babene just stuffs it, really.
Close guard here by Doerksen. He opens it, and Babene
looks for it again, and Babene powers out of it. That's a Joe Doerksen sweep all day long against a lot of guys. He's looking for the trip. Very nice. And
it's back up to their feet, which is definitely Babene's comfort zone here. Babene, very, very strong, and catches him there with a great right.
Joe initiated that, which, may be the right thing for him, especially if he feels that Babene is tiring. But Babene just hit back with that right. Joe's got that single now, but he's up against a strong guy. Wow.
And that concludes the first round of action.
Joe looks like he's been in a fight.
And Doerksen there, a cut on the bridge of the nose, and Babene surprising a lot of people, I think, in this first round, including Doerksen.
He looks fresh. It's a tough round to call because, Joe controlled the fight for 3.5 minutes, but Babene landed by far the most damage. So we're going to
be going into the second round. It's the main event of CFC 2, Joe Doerksen and Gregory Babene when we return.
Great fight.
We're getting set for the second round of this middleweight main event between the man you see right there, Gregory Babene, and Winnipeg's own Joe Doerksen.
Great main event so far, man. It's if anybody thought that Joe was going to have an easy time with this guy, we've just seen that is not the case. Babene, I don't think it's a surprise that his striking is so crisp and powerful, but he may be surprising Joe with some of his, his strength, his athleticism, and his wrestling.
A very close first round. I would give it slightly to Joe Doerksen in that first round, but very, very close.
It's so dependent on the judges because, Babene landed such powerful strikes that you could easily give him that round. And then we start right back to where Babene's had the advantage all night.
Round 2 underway here at the Winnipeg Convention Center, the main event of CFC 2.
Well, Joe's nice and alert looking here. He's relaxed.
Joe's got to be careful with those shots. I mean, Babene, very, very aggressive striker, as we see right there with a beautiful body shot.
And every shot that Joe took earlier, he felt. And it stunned him or hurt him or scrambled his brain or made his eyes run. And that's the thing when you're facing a guy like this territory here. He's got his head buried. He's got a nice grip on. He's got a sort of a modified half guard. I think he may even have that left leg into butterfly. Yes, he does. And he's going to try to... Oh, now he's going to re-guard.
And he closes a guard there on Babene.
Yeah, and you see a great experienced fighter like Joe start to adapt within a fight, right? And so when staying at a distance has become dangerous for him, he's now going to try to keep him pulled in close all the time. But that's just what you don't want to happen, is when he postures up and can land those huge experienced blows like that. That's why Joe's keeping him nice and tight with a high guard. This guy's gripping his own right knee there, which will just keep him even lower, and he's reached up over the shoulder and grabbed his right shin. So it's hard for Babene to really get anything going here, but you're also in danger of being stood up, which I don't think Joe wants right now either. So.
No, neutralizing those two weapons of Babene on the right and left of him.
Yeah, and Babene is doing a great job to be in the guard of a very experienced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and keep himself out of danger. He's not landing the shots here, but he's keeping it nice and, a nice quiet... Oh, there. And
when he postures up, as you said, Robin, that's when he's at his most dangerous here on the ground with Doerksen.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chess match because Doerksen can't let him posture up, but if he keeps him, too low, then he gets stood up. So he's got to open up a bit, which puts him at risk of getting hit. He's got to open up enough so that he doesn't get the stand-up, and he opens up some choices for him, and as far as... There you go.
And Yves Lavigne is going to stand both men up, not enough action happening on the ground.
Yeah, and that's the little game that Joe's got to find the details, but he's experienced. And Babene is doing a great job down there. Babene's tentative on some of the... Ooh, yeah, man, there must be some moisture there on the mat, because when Joe went down...
Oh, and
wow.
One of the problems of being in a ring is what you see right there, where a man could fall out of the ring.
Yeah, but it's a great view for the crowd. You can see well. There's the ring versus cage. I mean, hey, we just want to see these athletes compete, and both are exciting, I think. But yeah, there was a moment there where Joe hit the mat, and Babene got ready to land that huge right, and he also slipped. So maybe there's a bit of moisture over there, and it kind of evened out. If it was good for the goose, it was good for El Dirte too.
Fight restarted here. Gregory Babene, he still looks very fresh
nice
and takes
shot.
a huge left.
That's the best punch of the night for Joe so far. Nice left shot.
And Joe closes his guard now onto Babene. We're back to this position, but in the middle of the ring.
See how he's trying to shift his hips out to his left? That's going to open up some options. He's thinking about a Kimura right now, but really he can use it to set up some other things. He's been trying that one sweep all night long off that Kimura. So, That's exactly what Babene had to do. You don't want to let, an experienced grappler like Joe get a hold of something, because now you're going to be in trouble either of that thing or whatever you open up trying to defend it. So Babene's doing a really nice job from the top here. Joe's looking for either an armbar or a triangle. He's got that up over for the triangle.
Babene really needs to watch that left arm of his. He cannot leave it.
This is trouble because Joe Doerksen is, when he's in this situation, he can finish this fight right here. Cranking down on the head. He's got it tied up nicely. He's going to shift his own hips. So thinking about the arm as well.
The arm is out.
Joe's got that in there. Now you'll see that his left arm is tucked underneath Joe. Joe can either attack that arm or try to get it across. But he can also finish from here. He's got powerful, powerful experience from this position. He can crank down on the head. He can land these strikes. There. He used the striking.
Now the arm is in.
Beautiful.
And that's Babene taps out.
Incredible finish. He used the striking to get him to move the arm, put the arm across, and crank down on the head to finish it. And he's very happy, Joe Doerksen, in his hometown.
And as you can see, a very frustrated look on Babene's face, who just simply got caught.
Well, man, that's what makes a fight like this so great. Because one big strike from Babene could finish it, and one nice submission from Joe Doerksen could finish it. And that's what we just saw.
Joe Doerksen had to work the entire time to earn that 40-second victory on his resume.